Sawant was looking for a 6-month-long ban on winter evictions to limit the amount of people that enter the homeless population. And she did have a minor victory today with unanimous approval of legislation, but there were some major amendments to that legislation which she was not seeking. That includes limiting the amount of time from December through February where people would potentially not be evicted for lack of paying rent. There was also a limitation to the size of the units that would be impacted by her legislation as well. Andrew Lewis, in particular, led the charge, along with Alex Peterson, 2 of the new council members, to amend her legislation after a couple of hours of public comment.
People are dying in the street every day because they get thrown out into it by landlords. Just stop. You will get your money.
I support banning winter evictions not only because it's compassionate, but also because the reports and data from public organizations like the city and UW have shown time and again that the housing crisis is caused by the shifting character of the city. It's exacerbated by climate change, and it impacts people of color and women disproportionately and severely.
This winter eviction legislation, even with amendments, is not the way to solve evictions. Along with other recent legislation, it's creating a more expensive and a more corporate rental market.
And I don't want evictions in the winter or any time, but I know other people have spoken eloquently on the expenses that landlords incur.
Dan Strauss, one of the other new council members, led the charge on a couple of other amendments. So 3 of the new council members really led the charge on altering Sawant's original legislation. Now, keep in mind, Seattle's Mayor Jenny Durkin has warned against passing this kind of ban on winter evictions, and the legislation will likely face a legal challenge. But as of right now, it could go into effect if nothing changes by March or April of this year. That is the story for now. Live at Seattle City Hall, I'm Chris Daniels, King 5 News.